So, Sam Bankman-Fried set off Elon Musk's bullshit detector when he approached about Twitter investment. So, I'm not going to read all of this because you're going to see plenty of this information out there since they found that this piece of shit crypto scammer has basically tried to flee the country and is trying to head to Dubai where he probably wouldn't be able to be extradited. So they're holding him right now in the Bahamas, but we'll get to that later. It says after the epic collapse of Sam Bankman-Fried's entire crypto empire this week, even Elon Musk took a moment from his extremely chaotic week at the helm of Twitter to declare that he never trusted SBF. So he's got a acronym now, just like Osama bin Laden. Okay. SBF, from now on, I'm going to refer to him as SBF, who stepped down as CEO of FTX on Friday when the company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Bankman-Fried reached out to Musk back in March through their intermediaries. In SBF's case, it was William McCaskill from FTX's Future Fund philanthropic arm, which shut down on Friday, to express his interest in investing in Musk's bid for Twitter. That news came out in September when Musk's text messages leaked through a legal proceeding. So basically, it appears that SBF tried to woo Elon Musk by offering him money during his attempt to buy Twitter. It says on Friday night, as crypto Twitter continued to have a field day recirculating recent history involving SBF, a popular account that shares internal tech industry emails tweeted out the exchange again. Musk replied, "It's accurate. He set off my BS detector, which is why I did not think he had $3 billion. Now, I actually think he may have actually had the $3 billion liquid because so many of these idiots keep pouring their money into fucking cryptocurrency that, yeah, it's very possible he actually did have $3 billion. I think what stands out to me is the movie The Wizard of Lies, where Robert De Niro portrays Bernie Madoff. And there's a part in that movie that I really like watching where he's at like a ball or a dinner and people keep running up to him offering him money. And there's a guy who runs up to him and is like, yeah, I've got $100,000 and I'm looking to do something with it. And Madoff is trying to tell him, no, I can't do that. I already have clients. And the guy is insistent. The guy's like, okay, what if I make it 200 million? What if I make it 300 million? And then Madoff is like, well, you know what? Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll make this exception just for you. So you have these people who've got this money, and instead of just taking their money and just walking away, they're so fucking greedy that they literally were trying to force money down Bernie Madoff's throat because Bernie had promised them huge returns. Well, that's no different than cryptocurrency. People keep arguing with me as to whether the cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scheme or a pump and dump. And I keep insisting that it's actually both. Cryptocurrency in general is a Ponzi scheme. Now, in many cases, when they're trying to actually pump this shit up in order to later on cash out, just like they did with those AMC and Reddit and GameStop, just like they did with them. These are all pump and dumps for the most part. Some of them are pump and dumps now. Some of them will be pump and dumps in the future. But the thing about it is, I think after this Bankman-Fried incident, and I think after the collapse of MicroStrategies, I'm pretty sure at this point Congress is going to get more serious about regulating cryptocurrency. Because, see, I always had the conspiracy theory that the reason why cryptocurrency was allowed to get so big is because what the government was doing was they were allowing these morons to invest their stimmy checks. And what that was doing was that was actually eliminating inflation. See, usually America has outsourced inflation by sending money to Asia and getting manufactured goods. And it's a very simple strategy. Our paper money is worthless. So we take $500 and send it over to Asia, and you get like a 70-inch manufactured television, which is actually worth something. The problem is that when those people get this money, they get this worthless paper US dollars. We've outsourced the inflation, but the problem is when those people get that money, there's nothing for them to really do about it, because over there's almost nothing to buy because they usually live in countries that sell far less than we have here. So what do? They take that money and they hold it and they hoard that money. And then someday they come here and they buy up all your goddamn real estate. That's the reason why when you try to buy a house, you get outbid, usually by a Chinese, Indian, or some buyer from Dubai or something. It's usually somebody who owns companies overseas, and they take your money and they save it in a closet, just like you remember when Saddam Hussein got capped. They broke into his palace, and the guy had closets full of US dollars. He wasn't hoarding Iraqi dollars. He was hoarding US dollars. And then what they do is they take that money, they come here, and they buy up your whole goddamn block. They buy all the stores, they buy all the houses. And next thing you know, you're trying to figure out why it is that you can't afford a house. But now you're fighting against people who've got cash money in a briefcase. And there's nothing you can do about it. Long story short. So anyway, this is the email that they showed. And Elon Musk is saying, yeah, I just don't want to have any debates about blockchain. And then Elon Musk asked this guy, Michael Grimes, he's like, does this dude actually have $3 billion? And Michael Grimes says, I think Sam has it. He actually said up to 10 billion at one point. But in writing, he said up to 5. He's into you, and he specifically said the blockchain piece is only if you liked it and not gonna push it. Orlando refers Sam's interest to us and will be texting you to speak to say why he declined. We agree Orlando needs to call you. So yeah, Bankman-Fried approached this other guy, Orlando, and Orlando said no and then referred him to Elon Musk. So those are those internal tech emails. But anyway, yeah, Elon Musk recognized this piece of shit for what he was. And I guess it's obvious why. I think in the movie Wall Street 2, Money Never Sleeps, one of my favorite lines from that movie is when Michael Douglas he says, a fisherman always recognizes another fisherman from afar. And that is so true. It's like we recognize people of a similar type from a distance. It could be, you could have a car, no matter what car you've got, and you can always recognize somebody from a distance who has your same car. If you're a certain type of person, you always recognize what's inside another person who's of the same type from a distance. It takes a scammer to know a scammer. And I will say this, I'm not going to necessarily call Elon Musk a scammer, but what I will say is this guy has got the shadiest fucking business practices that I've seen in a long time. And after being involved with Tesla stock since 2012, when I originally invested in Tesla in 2012, and Tesla shares were $30, I really wish I'd bought more at this point, but that's, hindsight. But what I will say is I didn't know who Elon Musk was back then. I didn't know really who he was until about a year or two later. But once I realized who this dude was, I was like, oh, shit. Because I was like, wait a minute, this is a shady motherfucker right here. But I used to use the term, you know what, something smells musky. Something smells musky because, you can't necessarily just call him a scammer. You can't say he's a shady business practitioner. But you can say that something smells musky. Something smells real musky. But Elon Musk is in the news today for that. And what else? Okay, so that's Elon Musk's take on Bankman-Fried. And As you can see, crypto continues its nice decline. I don't care if those people lose all of their money because they should have never been in it in the first place. Morons. But you know what? I have to say, in the very beginning of crypto, it was one thing, and people didn't really understand it. And then once they realized that crypto was like a get rich quick scheme, and then you had all these people pretending that they're geniuses because they developed some new blockchain or something like that, then you realize all these fucking things are scams. Or even if these things did have worthwhile advantages, and even if they did have worthwhile applications, later you realize that there were people who were going to take advantage of the money that was going into these things, and they were going to basically try to steal it. So Sam Bankman-Fried is not a genius. He's a common thief. Had this been China, Bernie Madoff, Bankman-Fried, and everybody else who's run Ponzi schemes this big would have been executed. But what's funny about America is we don't execute enough of these super criminals. We just don't do it. In Texas, there's a woman right now who's about to be put to death because she took a baby out of the body of another woman who she killed in order to steal this woman's baby. Texas is putting her ass down. Now, imagine if that shit had happened here in this fucking shithole New York, or if it had happened in California, or if it had happened in Washington or Oregon or something. That woman would be given life in prison and she'd just sit and rot in prison. No. Texas is putting her ass down. And that's what we need to do. And the thing about it is, I know some people have probably found out that the Democrats supposedly have majority control of the Senate in one of the longest and shadiest elections that I've seen. Because I know over there in Arizona and Nevada, they were having problems with their machines all of a sudden. And then all of a sudden, it takes like 5 days just to count the damn votes. It's like, yeah, something's shady, boy. Something that smells musky. But that's just a conspiracy theory, and nobody will agree with me. So it's like, whatever. All I can count on is that the Republicans take the House. Even if they take the House, not the Senate, they still have enough control, considering they also have the Supreme Court, to slow this horrible Democrat agenda down. Because ultimately, all they'll do is they'll make this country a weak, crime-infested shithole. But they've done a good job of that already. So that was a little bit of a diversion. Let me get back to this. So, Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX trading exchange held $900 million in liquid assets against $9 billion of liabilities. Wow. The day before Friday's bankruptcy filing. The Financial Times reported Saturday, citing investment materials the newspaper had seen. Okay, most of the recorded assets are either illiquid venture capital investments or crypto tokens that are not widely traded, according to the spreadsheet. The biggest asset of Thursday was listed at $2.2 billion worth of cryptocurrency called Serum. Bankman-Fried was also looking to sell $472 million of Robinhood Markets Incorporated shares at about $9 a piece until Friday afternoon. The FT reported, citing a person involved in the negotiations. The files also show Bankman-Fried was seeking to raise $6 billion to $10 billion, including a convertible preferred stock issue paying 10% that would later be converted into common equity in FTX International at between $12 billion and $15 billion. The spreadsheet also referenced $5 billion of withdrawals last Sunday and a negative $8 billion entry that Bankman-Fried told the FT was related to funds accidentally extended to his Alameda trading firm. Accidentally. I love how they put the quotes next to accidentally. I love it because they know this motherfucker's lying. You know, what you should do is, when you write like that and you know that somebody's full of shit and you put quotes around a word they say, in the very next section, what you do is you put an open parenthesis and you can put in the reality and then you put close parenthesis. So what I would do is I would put in open parenthesis, this motherfucker is lying, and then put close parenthesis and next to accidentally. And it looks beautiful when you write like that. That's basically what it is. So that's your crypto genius right there. Is nothing but a common scammer, and he's trying to run. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to run. New York Post, November 8:03 p.m. FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried in the Bahamas as customers' billions go missing in company collapse. So, I guess he must have set off numerous alarms. Probably the FTC, the SEC, they were watching him, maybe even the IRS, watching his ass, set off numerous alarms as he tried to run. So that's him right there, that piece of shit. They need to give him right to China and have them put punishment on him, because I know America's too weak to do it. America's punishment's too weak for this person. Just like Bernie Madoff. Look at Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff ruined so many people's lives and ruined their savings and evaporated their money. And what did they do? They give him life in prison. I wouldn't have given him life in prison. I would have handed him over to Chinese and let the Chinese give him justice, because he's not going to get it here in America. Those people who lost all that money that they gave him are never going to get justice for that money that they gave him that he lost. The restitution that they got was pathetic. Hand these people to China. China will deal with them properly. Anyway, the Democratic darling whose FTX cryptocurrency exchange collapsed this week amid reports of up to $2 billion in missing customer funds was spotted Saturday in the Bahamas. FTX underwent a $16 billion implosion amid reports that co-founder SBF had been funneling money to a sister trading company run by his girlfriend. The only girlfriend that you're going to see is in the booty house, and his name is Big Dexter. That's the only girlfriend you're going to see, and I don't know if you're built for that, but if it was up to me, I'd toss you head first into a cell with Big Derek or Big Justin or Big Dexter. That's what I would do. I'd throw you head first into that cell. Bankman-Fried, 30, who had donated a reported $50 million to Democrats since 2020. So let's just understand something before I go on any further. A large amount of money that was going to these politicians was coming out of your pocket, regardless what side of the aisle you were on, from crypto scammers. So let's just understand that right now. So while some of you are very happy that the Democrats were able to take the Senate, let's just understand that a lot of that money was stolen. Okay? That's just what I'm calling right now. Because something smells really musky about this. Do you remember the good old days when the day after Election Day, you knew who won? You remember the good old days? Like when we knew exactly who won the next day? And at the very least, maybe 2 days later. It's really interesting that we only found out that the Democrats controlled the Senate yesterday night, which was Saturday. And it took, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It took damn near 5 days to find that out. And now you're finding out that a lot of the money they were getting was stolen from crypto investors. Just think about that for a second. So anyway, they told routers that he was in the Caribbean where FTX is headquartered. That should have been a warning right there. You remember the good old days when you could launder money through the Bahamas? They used to call them Bahamian banks, the Bahamian banks that you could launder money, just like in the movie Scarface. And the guy was like, you don't want to trust some monkey in the Bahamian bank. You want to give your money to me. Remember that movie Scarface? See, they used to teach us this shit. I can almost understand the reason why so many of you dumb motherfuckers would throw your money at these crypto people just like these people threw their money at Bernie Madoff. I can almost understand it. When I was a kid, they taught us to recognize what a scam looked like. Generation Z, millennials, later millennials, they didn't teach you all that. In your movies, all you learned about was fucking Sonic the Hedgehog and learned about Dragon Ball Z. Y'all didn't learn shit about economics. And I'm starting to understand it now. Like, I always put my hand on my head. I'm like, how can these people be this fucking stupid? And then I realized, I'm like, wait a minute. When I was a kid, the cartoons taught me lessons. The movies taught me lessons. Now when I watch these stupid ass movies, and by the way, I saw that, what was it called? Wakanda Forever? That movie sucked. And to tell you the truth, I didn't really like the first Black Panther movie that much either. Those movies both sucked. And it was funny because I was watching EFAP, Every Frame of Pause. I was watching it on YouTube yesterday while Marlo and his friends were talking about it. And they had me rolling because everything they pointed out about how stupid that movie was, every single thing they pointed out was hilarious. But then I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? They don't teach you anything anymore. You don't learn shit in school. Most of you are going to school high and you're getting smoking weed and shit before you go to school. So you're not learning shit. Then the rest of you are ADHD. And then there's some of you, all you'll do, you're in school playing on your fucking cell phone. So you're not learning anything. And nobody forced you to learn anything. So in my day, we were forced to learn things in school when I was in school. Now, you don't learn anything. You don't learn anything. You've got all the internet knowledge in the palm of your hands. You don't learn anything. And you don't know, and they don't teach you how to recognize a Ponzi scheme, how to recognize a pump and dump, how to recognize a scam artist. They don't teach you any of this shit anymore. So I can almost understand the reason why you don't know anything. I can almost understand. So anyway, at least $1 billion and up to $2 billion in client funds have gone missing since FTX, which has filed for bankruptcy, suddenly collapsed, according to a report. Crypto experts, what the fuck is a crypto expert? Is that like an expert Ponzi scheme runner or an expert scam artist? Which one is it? Anyway, crypto experts on Twitter Saturday warned FTX account holders who have linked their FTX accounts to their bank accounts to change their bank account passwords immediately because the accounts may be vulnerable to hacking. Bankman-Fried, known in the industry as FBF, secretly funneled $10 billion of customer funds into his trading company, Alameda Research. It was revealed Friday Alameda Research is run by Bankman-Fried girlfriend, Caroline Ellison. Caroline, whatever. You're never going to see your boy again. He's going to the booty house. So anyway, 2 senior FTX officials claimed they saw the evidence that the money was missing and copies of financial records. Bankman-Fried shared with company executives last week, according to Reuters. At its height, FTF drew endorsements from the likes of NFL legend Tom Brady, NBA superstar Stephen Curry, Seinfeld co-creator Larry David, and supermodel Gisele Bundchen. So yeah, you got endorsements from all these people. You got endorsements. You were paying people to endorse this bullshit. Just like, it was funny because I was watching the Stephen Graham channel and he comes on with his little soft apology about FTX. So you think about it. Now, you see, and this is something that people just didn't realize. What happened was these crypto companies, at the height of crypto and even before it, these people were putting money into advertisement and they were giving money to these scumbag politicians. And what they were doing is they were buying influence that entire time in order to trick your dumb ass into thinking that all you got to do is put $100 into Dogecoin and you're going to drive away with a Lamborghini. And the sad thing is, enough of you were dumb enough to actually think that this was real. This isn't there's been a couple of these crypto firms that have collapsed into nothing. And that also reminds me of that other guy, Mashinsky. I don't know where Mashinsky is, but he's the last person that I remember doing this bullshit and then running when everything collapses. And it was sad because I listened to Peter Schiff. Peter Schiff had an interview with Mashinsky, and it's still on YouTube because Peter Schiff posted it. So he posted this interview. what was Mashinsky was running another one of these fucking crypto firms. What was it called? Shit. It'll come back to me. Celsius, I believe. And Mashinsky, he was trying to explain how he was able to give you 10-to-1 returns or something, or 10% return. It was really crazy because the number that he came up with, Peter immediately says, how the hell are you giving 10 something returns, 10% returns, when even the interest rates, the federal government's down to like 2 or 3? How the hell are you giving 10? That's exactly what happened to Bernie Madoff, because eventually somebody actually did the math and they were like, wait a minute, this is a down market. How the hell are you offering the returns you're offering when we're in a down market? Something doesn't smell kosher. You should really watch that movie, The Wizard of Lies. It's a great movie. I love that movie. It says we're on the edge of our seats. It seems like there's a new bombshell dropping every hour. Yeah, that's because the guy's trying to take your money and run. Cryptocurrency pioneer and billionaire Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. Another billionaire who got rich off of other people's stupidity. Brock Pierce told the Post from his home in Puerto Rico. I want you to notice that all of these super rich crypto billionaires, all of them run to Puerto Rico. They've driven up the property values in Puerto Rico. And the reason why they run there is because they're not paying taxes. Now, while these pathetic Democrats are busy worried about oil companies and whether oil companies pay taxes, when was the last time you heard one of these pathetic piece of shit Democrats say, oh, well, these crypto people keep running to Puerto Rico. Why is it they're there and why aren't they paying taxes? You haven't heard that, have you? Well, of course you didn't hear it, because you got people like SBF giving the Democrats money. But you know what's funny? I haven't heard it out of the Republicans either. So I wonder how much money they got from cryptocurrency. See, this is the reason why a lot of people don't want to vote, and this is the reason why a lot of people don't want to participate in this government. It's because they know this entire thing is corrupt. If they're getting their money from crypto schemes and Ponzi schemes and Ponzi scammers, why would anybody want to participate in this government? Why? There's some people who don't want any part of it at all because they know it's a big lie. I don't know if he's the Madoff of this generation or the Enron of this generation, but a ton of people are very shocked and upset and didn't see this coming. No. The idiots didn't see this coming. So honestly, if they lose all of their money and their shirt and their house, I could give a fuck. I'm the one who is over here talking about oil stocks and dividend-paying stocks and whatnot, and y'all are talking about getting rich quick by handing your money to Sam Bankman-Fried. So you know what? If you got burned, good for you. Anyway, where am I? It's going to have a terrible impact on the market as well as for customers of FTX, who probably will be lucky to get even a small portion of their money back. And that won't be for another 4 or 5 years at best. What a wonderful ending to a wonderful story. So there you have it. Sam Bankman-Fried scammed your stupid asses, and now he's run to the Bahamas. Look at him. He's got his shorts on. His hair looks like shit. He looks like he's got a vitamin K deficiency. And he stole your money. And he's in the Bahamas. He's hiding out in the Bahamas right now. And he's trying to get himself a plane to Dubai. And he's going to disappear. And he's laughing at you. You see that? You see that butter face right there? He's laughing at you. He says, yes, give me more of your monies, and I will turn your monies into 12% returns. Yes, give me more of your monies. You see? That's what you get. That's what you get right there. That's what you get.